Hello to all you Fire Alarm and Siren fans on YouTube. This is FS Thunderbolt Fan 1000 here with another siren video. Today we're going to be talking about another siren that we have. It is a Allertronic AR1600. This one came from central Wisconsin along with its brother over there. This one we've had for a little bit. It's gutted, completely gutted, that one. All the drivers and such went to a different city. All the driver holders went to another city. So yeah, it's pretty much just a rotating base. You might remember this one from my other video from SirenCon 2020. So here is the yellow AR1600. We believe this to be the first one probably ever produced due to it having the pretty much first ever Generation 2 board. So this is like the one, if you ever saw my ARS post about the two different style boards that came on the Allertronic, the Gen 1, the Gen 2. This one's kind of a half-bred between the two. Has the centralized amplifier transformers there, but it doesn't have a couple capacitors across a couple of the integrated circuits like the newer one did. Plus, it uses the same front panel as the Gen 1 board, and they had to drill a new hole for the rotation button due to it not being in the same place as it was on the old one. It's got the ACA RDT/TTS. Yeah, this is the board for it. Yeah, this is basically it. It uses Communication Specialist SD1000 tone decoders to activate the siren. Uses the old style amplifiers, so we got 8 amplifiers. These 4 is one tone, these 4 are the other tone, so this one is dual tone, which is pretty cool. Yeah, this is the only yellow one I have ever seen produced, so that is a pretty neat feature. Here's the back. The ID tag, probably can't read anything, but it ends in, it's got 91 in there, so we believe this to be from 91, so that'd make it a very early AR1600, and then that one is newer compared to this one. On the back, if we open her up, here are the drivers. They use the 4 cluster round ones, so they have 4 drivers per horn, so for a total of 16 drivers. Quite a few of these are actually blown, especially these Federal Signal ones. Haven't found one that was good. I just wanted the weight back there to help keep it kind of balanced. Yeah, up here we're missing 2 drivers. One of the drivers had strip threads on it, so it's sitting over here to give the control cabinet a bit of weight. And then the other one was blown, so I didn't throw it in there. Here are the collector rings on this one. I had to put new whatchamacallits on it, run new wires on here because they were completely chewed up on the inside down here. I don't know whether it was a bird or a mouse or something, but they were all combined together, so I had to run new wires up through the collector ring assembly to the Amphenol connector here. So here we have the 34 pin, I think it's actually 36 pins, but 2 aren't used. This is the Amphenol connector that then goes into the control cabinet and comes out this harness here, and then that goes between the drivers and then up to here, because this board, actually this is the rotation relay. So one of these relays in the back drives the main contactor, which sends power to the amplifiers, and then the other one is that actually sends power to the rotator. Something else about this one is, I'm trying to think here. So this board does not have a soft start, so on these early Allertronics, not early, but the AL6000R and the AR1600 that use these controls, the soft start is generated by the amplifiers warming up. So on these, the amplifiers don't have power until this contactor kicks on. So when this contactor kicks on, it will then power up the amplifier. So the minute this thing starts generating audio, that back relay kicks on, which kicks this relay on, which sends power to the amplifiers. So when that happens, it takes them a minute to charge the capacitors and start discharging at full power, and that's what gives the Allertronic the stereotypical kind of soft start when it's not being generated by this thing. The later ones is Josh, my kind of counterpart here at SWS. His board that he has that's going up to a scout camp, that one automatically generates the soft start. So I don't know if those amplifiers, it's a hard to say if they're always generating peak voltage or not, or if it's just the board generating the soft start. So I guess together it would make a really soft start. So these amplifiers are different than these are kind of like a Gen 2 amplifier. So these are 200 watts a piece. The AL6000 did not come with fuses on the top from what I can recall. Because I do have one off and a couple amplifiers off of the Rhinelander AL6000. That one did not have fuses on the top like this. It had like a screw fuse, not an automotive fuse like this. These ones had automotive fuses, and so that's why I call these a Gen 2, and then the Gen 3 are the 400 watt big boys. So yeah, so far all the amplifiers work. It's good because we do have some spares otherwise. Yeah, not much else to say about this one. Running it off of my Whelen batteries, so eventually once I get going with this thing, I will get some bigger batteries to run it off of, not the Group 75s. Right now I'm just running it off of 2 amplifiers on low power, so it's not that loud. I don't want to imagine what this thing would be running on full power, because it is already pretty loud. Yeah, that is pretty much it for this. I will now switch over to my other camera in a second here, and then we'll run it through some of the signals.